Hey everybody, welcome back to the Road to 237. This is episode 5. I spent this past week in Colorado on vacation with my daughter. We've got this fun tradition that when the kids turn 4, they get to go out on a 4-year-old trip into Colorado and do some sledding and enjoy some winter activities. But was able to keep some consistent running throughout that. So let's take a look at the prior week. Monday morning before the first run of the week, doing a workout today. Like I said, a little bit of a different schedule this week because I'll be at altitude, so not trying to do a first workout back into the cycle at altitude. So I've got 2 by 2 miles this morning. Those 2-mile intervals are going to be at half marathon pace or half marathon effort. We'll see what pacing ends up being, again, with it being the first run back or first workout back. Ideally, I'd be about 6-minute mile pace for half marathon, and that should correlate to a 2:45, 2:47 marathon. I like 2 by 2 miles as a first workout back because it's on the shorter side of things, but you get a couple intervals in there, and so you do get some good volume overall. Half marathon pace isn't something that should feel too crazy fast, given I've had a relatively short break, so it's a good way to get back into workouts and hit some faster paces without having to go all out too early on. Martin bar for breakfast. Not something I would typically do. I do like having something to eat before a workout, but this bar in particular, my wife broke a piece off for her half marathon yesterday and didn't end up eating it, so we'll go ahead and enjoy this for the workout. Just finished up the 2 by 2 mile run. It's kind of wet out this morning, so the picture looks a little funny. I put my phone in a bag so it stays dry, so there's a tip. Overall, the 2 by 2s felt good. I think about as good as I could expect for a first workout back. The first interval went pretty much exactly as intended. 6:02 for the first, and I think 5:56 for the second. Second interval, I let myself run with my heart and not my head, which is great in a race, but not so much what you want on a first run back. I ended up about 5:45 for the first, 5:50 for the second. So it felt fine. Hopefully it's not one of those things that's going to be harder to recover from. But overall, happy with the workout. Close out the cool down and go get on a plane. From there, we headed out to Colorado. And as you can see, I packed like a runner. I'm in Estes Park, Colorado, getting ready for the second run of the week. I'm not used to doing a workout on the first day. Later start than usual. Got my daughter here, and my mom intentionally stayed in bed a little bit later because they had some mountain lions coming through the backyard, and she didn't want me to go until it was perfectly light out. So getting ready for an easy hour here this morning. I'm going to go up what I call Fish Creek Mountain. It's some nice elevation gain for the flatlanders like me. It should be tough, and we'll see what 7,500 feet of elevation does, but good, easy run. Looking forward to it. One of the big draws in Colorado for the kids is sledding, and so of course I had to take the first turn and show them how to do it. Got some pretty cool trick moves, I guess, but mostly I'm just glad I didn't break my tailbone. Run number 3 of the week, looking for another easy effort, 8 miles. Today I'm going more downhill to Lake Estes. Yesterday up what I call Fish Creek Mountain was tough. Kept it all easy effort, but even still, I'm a little bit sore in those muscles that you use to run uphill that I don't get to use very often. Getting ready for run number 4 of the week. We've got all easy miles today. I put some strides in yesterday, 8 by 32nd. So today will be just easy miles. I am going to go all the way around the lake, so that'll bring me up to about 10 miles. One last run in Colorado, just an easy 30 minutes today. I originally hadn't planned on running, but you're not in Colorado very often. It was a really nice morning, so I figured an easy 30 minutes would be a good thing to do. Run number 6 of the week this morning. I've got a workout back here in Florida again, down from elevation. 6 by 800 meters. Gonna do those at 5K pace. So my hope here is to take it progressively faster. Start out around 5:30 for me, working down to 5:10 So that's pretty quick. It's a little bit faster than 5K pace, but I want to hit some of the speeds that I'm hoping to hit in the 2-mile race I've got coming up here in a couple weeks. So we'll see how it goes. Not feeling super fast this morning. You know, yesterday was a day of travel. Nutrition's always a little off for that, but we're gonna give it a shot, see how it goes. Just finished up the 6x800 workout. Workout felt really hard, but I did manage to keep each rep at or below the target pace, so that's great. I had hoped to get progressively faster as I went. That didn't happen, but like I said, got the work in, hit all the prescribed paces, so we'll chalk this one up as a major win. Just finished up this week's long run at 14 miles today. I was a little nervous, honestly, getting started because yesterday, just after my workout, totally out of the blue, my knee was really bothering me. We went for a walk then later on in the evening as a family, and it kind of clicked weird and was pain-free. So decided I'd wake up this morning, see how it felt, get started on the run. No tenderness, felt fine. So who knows what that was yesterday, but 14 miles today, all easy miles, got me to 65 for the week. First week of workouts back, so a couple workouts planned for next week, and we're back at it. All right, so up next week then, again, back at workouts, so gonna have some fun. I'm doing another 2x2 mile workout first up. I just think it's a great workout to kind of ease back into things after some time off, like after a marathon. The goal for this one will be just to hit some faster paces than what I hit this past week. Aside from that then, I'll do an 8x3 minute fartlek later on in the week at 10K pace, doing about half rest on those intervals. And I'll be introducing the next iteration of strides in my stride progression, so more on that as the week progresses. Capping it all off with a 18-mile long run, should get us about 62 miles for the week. So last up for this week, I wanted to share a little bit about one of my most important training tools, maybe the most important, aside from running shoes, Garmin 255s. So this watch comes in a variety of different iterations, ranging from a more basic version all the way up to a very high end. It's called the 965, I believe. That's got all the bells and whistles. 255 is kind of the middle of the pack, and it comes in at two different sizes, the 255 or the 255s, which is what I wear. I've got a small wrist. The 255 is a little bit bigger at 46 millimeter case. The 255s is a 41 millimeter case. So again, really just preference there. There are some slight differences in terms of battery life, weight, etc., but same features. Both of these versions also have a music version supported if you want music right on your watch. Mine is the standard 255s there. It's super light, it's 1.4 ounces, so you don't even notice that it's there. And one of the things that I really like about this too is it's an all silicone band. So you might have heard recently in the running news about PFAs being in watch bands. This one's clean, clear, you're good to go. All Garmin products are, so highly recommend a Garmin running watch. The Garmin 255 comes loaded with a ton of features right out of the box. It'll monitor your sleep, it'll give you your HRV status, HRV being heart rate variability, which is an important metric as you're looking at whether you're over or under trained. Variability there being just how much change there is in your heart rate. You want to see a higher HRV value generally. That points to your body being able to adapt better to a variety of scenarios. A lower heart rate variability, meaning that, again, maybe you're a little bit overtrained and want to take things easy for a little bit. Intraday activity will be reflected in what's called the body battery. So just, again, Garmin's way of monitoring your energy levels throughout the day. What I like about the 255 versus some of the other Forerunner series watches that Garmin offers too, this comes loaded with 30 different activity profiles. So that's running, it's biking, it's swimming, golf, weightlifting. It's got some triathlon features in there, so tons of stuff that this watch will support as you're training. And I like too that you can load in what your goal time, or really more race. Garmin will also give you a projected time based on how your training's going, but it'll help you count down as you're getting closer to race day. And it does have what's called the Garmin Coach, and so that'll suggest workouts along the way. Personally, I don't really use that a ton, but I know plenty of people that do. So if you're a newer runner or looking for some different ideas on training, that Garmin Coach and suggested workouts can be an interesting tool to include as you're training for that next race. This guy's also going to monitor just a ton of running metrics and present those back to you. It's got running power, it's got stride length, it's got ground contact time, it's got heart rate that you can watch as you're running, and of course distance and pace. All of those kind of factor into a training status that Garmin then provides that gives you, again, an idea of if your training is productive, getting you towards your goal. If it's strained, maybe you're overtraining, you've got a little too much stress overall in your life, you're peaking. That's a very rare, but I've seen it a couple times in the Garmin training status. Or if you're more in recovery mode. So again, just some other metrics that for maybe newer runners, or if you're looking for some outside perspective, it can be directionally correct on, maybe where your training's at or where it's going. I also like that it can give you some estimated time to recovery. Again, another metric that as it watches all of the different metrics that you're incorporating from your running and daily life, how long a particular workout might take you to recover from. So again, just a good outside perspective on how much you might want to load up or take a break to make sure you're not overtrained or undertrained there. And of course, it wouldn't be a great running watch if it didn't have probably what I consider the two most important components to it. You can actually create routes and then load them into Garmin Connect, which is the app that supports the Garmin Forerunner watches, or you can create it directly in Garmin Connect, and you can then load those onto your watch. It'll give you turn-by-turn directions then as you're running that route. So I love that feature. I used it a ton this past summer as I was working through city strides. So you can load any route you want, make sure you hit those streets. If it's a new area, it's a great tool to have to make sure you don't get lost. And then the ability to program workouts is fantastic. And that's, again, also in Garmin Connect. That's where you can go in, tell it that, hey, I want to do this type of workout. You select warm-up distances, what your work sets are going to be. You can input specific paces, rest periods, and then cool down, etc. One of the really cool things and helpful things, in my opinion, is then the watch will actually beep at you if you are running outside of a desired pace. So let's say you set a 6-minute pace target. If you're below that pace, you're running a 5:50, the watch is going to let you know, hey, slow down, right? Maybe you're going too fast. Conversely, if you're at a 6:15 pace, and again, we targeted a 6-minute pace, it's going to beep and let you know. It's got a different tone, so you don't have to constantly look at the watch to say, okay, is this too fast or too slow? What does that beep mean? Once you hear it a couple times, you start to pick up which one is which. So really helpful as you're working on, whatever workout it is that you're trying to do, just to make sure that you're dialed in. So again, fantastic training tool. I love this thing. I've had this for a couple years, but looking back historically, I've always worn Garmin watches. I just think they're a great, easy to use watch that, really help me make the most of my training. So with that, that's episode 5. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.